Yatagnirdaika Shakti Ram Krishna Sthita Hiya Sarva Vidya Swarupam Tvam Sharadam Pranamamyaham. Salutations to our mother Sharada, who is like fire in, you can say, the burning power in fire. She is situated in Ramakrishna. She is the embodiment of all knowledge. Good morning, everyone. And it's really nice to be back in Santa Barbara, though with circumstances that are permitting us to communicate, but digitally. Anything but communication. We have today the topic, the meaning of life. Yeah. We were just on the way. Brahmachari Satya was asking me, so Swami, what's the meaning of life? So I was saying, there's no meaning of life at all. What? What are you going to talk about here? The meaninglessness of life. Well, it has, life is actually the real subject of every human study, every human endeavor has been focused in trying to unravel what is life. It's as simple as that. So I remember about last year, I had gone to New York. I was invited to New York, and in that Hayden Planetarium, the American Natural History, you can say, museum. I had gone to see you can say, show on where exactly we are situated in the cosmos. And, there was some problem in getting in, and finally we didn't manage to get in. And we settled down with some of the friends, and it was really mind-blowing. The universe, so vast, unbelievably vast. The human brain is really not designed to understand these distances, these vast time scales. Just impossible. We'll make a kind of caricature of things. But as the cameras were zooming out, seeing the vastness of space, you could get an idea of where exactly we are situated. And I was the most disappointed guy when the show ended. And it was a kind of an intoxicating half an hour. And I wanted to kind of, as people who get intoxicated, they want to stretch that time a little longer, luxuriate in it. I let all the people go out, and then the usher had to say, sir, please, the show is over. Well, the show is over for you, but the show is begun for me. Yeah, I was kind of dazed. I did, read, and I was always interested in astrophysics and astrobiology and all this. But then, the movie was so beautifully done, amazing. That was a kind of a highlight, a high point in my New York visit. So people say, how do you like New York? You like? I said, New York? Who likes New York? See that? Look closely and see. You'll see all the defects in New York life. But this was really remarkable. We also find some time ago, People are so excited because the atmosphere of Venus was showing a traces of phosphine. That is a sign of life. And everybody were kind of excited. As if life as we know it is possible in Venus. It's a hot place. We get fried. Life would have got fried. But then, why? Why is that kind of excitement? Life. People run for movies with a kind of alien themes, aliens, and we are searching for aliens and this and that. And we have many people who kind of insist that aliens are here already. I said, there's a kind of a fallacy, in the logic. So if you make a statement, it is up to you to prove it, not me to believe it. You prove it out. So these claims have been made over and over again. But then I find, yes, it's only human beings. In fact, not even everything has life, can understand life. That's the reason why we are searching and seeking. Life can thrive only with life. Life can grow only with life. We love life. Wherever there's love, there has to be life. So now we know why is that kind of entanglement with this kind of seeking life. And we do. But what exactly is the ultimate mystery? Well, existentialists, for centuries they have been telling us, religion and society does not explain to you the meaning of life. They can't just tell you this is the meaning of life. It's up to the individual. So from Nietzsche down to the whole long list of Heidegger and all this, they're just talking about it's what you make of life, what meaning you give to your life, that is your meaning of life. So go ahead, pin a kind of a goal, strive for it. They speak also one thing about personal responsibility. It doesn't just throw the responsibility of my life to something else, to some god or some demon or some, people sell their souls to the devil, to mammon. But Vedanta is very clear. This life that is palpitating there, you feel is the most precious thing. And you, by acquiring this life, are a unique, you can say, entity in this universe. We don't really understand because we are in meaninglessness. The moment you understand your life, you will find its true meaning and purpose. So you will understand what is existence. So that's the reason why we always are searching for life and life, meaning of life. What is existence? What is this? Okay. So vast majority of people, it's a kind of a humdrum day-to-day life living, You get up in the morning, you do the same old things over and over. This is something called, people are stuck up in that cognitive ease, There is no stress here. There's no cognitive stress. Cognitive stress comes when your brain, your cerebral cortex is trying to understand things, to analyze things, to dissect things, to see its, different dimensions. Cognitive ease is you go through the motions without thinking, without blinking, without doing anything. How's life? Beautiful, smooth as silk. When I see that is cognitive ease. The moment you have cognitive stress, you are struggling. And that struggle is actually life in its moment of flowering up. There has to be struggle. And this is what people try to avoid. Why? Struggle means suffering. Life full of suffering. These guys with all these kind of negative ideas about world and life. They'll say, oh, life is pain. It's a big pain. Life is misery. Yeah, of course it's misery. Life is struggle. Yeah. Hey, it's all you get. But there are some people who try to understand the higher dimensions of life. These are the people, they are spoken about as they live on the edge of knowledge. You know, what's the edge of knowledge? Yeah, you push yourself and keep on pushing yourself, and you push the boundaries of your own knowledge. That is the edge of your knowledge. And life should be that. Once you have this aspect in life, you keep on pushing and pushing and pushing, and that entails struggling. You will have a higher meaning of life. So there are these people who lived. Mircea Eliade, he was a very great, you can say, sociologist and a historian of religions. Great scholar, and his contribution to religious studies have been remarkable. When he's talking about the initiation of shamans and mystics, all over the world, he's saying there are two levels. One is they can access a higher dimension of their own selves, within their own self. Either you take psychedelic drugs or whatever, but there have been others who do it through singing or dancing, or you can say meditation or whatever. So dreams and visions and ecstasies, and they are open to this kind of realm of ideas. At the same time, they also are heirs to all the oral traditions, all the, you can say, the knowledge from the past masters. This is a process of initiation. You open yourself up to the higher level, as well as to that which is down to day-to-day life of the people. And what they can do is integrate both these levels. That is culture. What is culture? Culture is always dynamic. It's nothing static. And that culture has to be constantly fed new ideas, new impulses. So that keeps on rolling over and over. We don't have a culture which is kind of fossilized culture. That's no culture. So these people can integrate that level number one on top with the level number two. We come across a lot of people, oh, I had a vision of so and so such and such thing, some experience, and they are so beside themselves with, I don't know what, sometimes confusion. They become more restless. They become more unmanageable. So what happened to you? You see, I had this kind of experience. You must be able to integrate that knowledge with your day-to-day life. If you can do that, then you are an integrated person. So shamanism and totemism, we had the whole history of humanity was going up to that level, a mystic level, coming down with that knowledge and integrating it with that, with the culture, with the people. Why? It's like, you have an experience up here and you bring it down to the people. There's a vast swath of people, the land out there, the cultural landscape that needs to be energized. And these people, when they energize, they can lift themselves up to that peak experience at point. So it's these shamans and all, they bring that knowledge down, and then some people, they lift themselves up to this. This is the process of, you can say, integration and knowledge which has been brought from the edge of your being. This is very important, because all spiritual traditions have been with this kind of, you can say, dynamism. In India, we have been criticized for so many things, of all the wrong things and the right things also. But Indian society was based on you can say, the reality of a higher mind. The whole society was oriented towards reaching up there. This ordinary mind is, this ordinary mind is there everywhere. But there is hidden within all of us a higher mind, a super conscious mind. And the whole idea was the society had to be lifted up towards that goal. So, Mircea Eliade gave this term, homo religious. Human beings are religious by nature. They seek a higher experience. So much for, we had these sages and saints in the Upanishads and the Vedas and all. They brought this knowledge down to the people. And the people were kind of energized with that knowledge. So it became part of a culture and part of society for thousands and thousands of years. Today, we also have even scientists today, like you look at that vast cosmos out there. That knowledge has to be integrated here down to your level. In your textbooks, you've got to teach it to the boys and girls, the children here. If it's exclusively meant only for the scientist, sorry, that's not science. You will have to bring that knowledge of the scientist down below. So this is the process of life. There is a higher dimension that needs to be brought up and down. Okay. Now, so much for meaning of life. there. But since we have a lot of time still, we'll talk about, there's in Indian philosophy, there's an axiomatic truth. That is, the means are completely exhausted in order for the results to emerge. That's, it's there everywhere. You have to really, work and work and work till you get a glimmer of success. And that glimmer will keep on pushing you over and over again. It takes years and years and years of your life for you to become successful in anything. Nothing drops out of the skies. Sorry. This is the world of karma. You have to exhaust every possible means at your disposal to get what you want. It's like, millions and millions of tons of, pressure with all that heat, millions degrees of heat makes a diamond. It's not just, we dig diamonds. You have diamond mines and somebody must have done it. Yeah, no. It has taken time for that diamond to emerge. Similarly, suppose you have an Olympic kind of athlete, when that guy crosses the line or does, he stretches. You can see that life, as it were, kind of tries to spread open. We don't see all that struggle and that pain that Olympic athlete has gone through to come to that point of, that person has really exhausted herself or himself in getting that gold medal. Okay. Of course, there are some with multiple gold medals. Good for them. It's just that the difference between people is the amount of energy. There are some who go, for a short distance and fizzle out. There are some who keep on going and on and on and on and on and plodding. So it's like even in spiritual life, every morning we tell the brahmacharyans, get up in the morning, please get up. It will be for your own good. And you have to sometimes drag them out, sometimes scold them, and cajole them, and then they keep on. It becomes a habit. And as they keep on practicing, it may take years and years and years. All those rosy dreams about nirvana in a few short minutes or a few short days is all vanished. When they see the grind reality, oh my God, you've got to really wear yourself out. Then you'll get something called God realization or self-realization or nirvana. But you'll have to go through that. So this is the truth in the world, in life, in everywhere. Oh yeah. In fact, in one place, Swami Vivekananda makes a point that, it's very difficult. So he's saying it took thousands of lives to become ordinary, to become degraded, for producing one Buddha. It's like, if one person becomes rich, it's always that person sucks up all the resources all around. It's obviously, if the person is a millionaire, billionaire, the guys around you will have a field time in all this world. In ordinary people who are poor, you are sucking up resources from one, and it's going to taper and reach up to one point. So Swami Vivekananda says, in producing all these galaxy of saints, India, the population of India, people of India had to become degraded. Why is it so? Why should it be so? But in the case of Buddha, Ramakrishna, and Vivekananda, they drew up the energy of the people and then they returned it back. That was what he said, to pull up everything and return it. Like the sun pulls up all the moisture and then again returns it as rain. That should be life. And you say, what is the meaninglessness of life? The more narrow life is, the more there is meaninglessness. The more broad it is, then you have meaning. So that's the truth that everybody understands, but nobody wants to acknowledge it. The more broader we are, the more we will have meaning of life. Okay. So now that we've understood this principle, the means have to be completely exhausted to produce the end. So sitting in that planetarium or watching that huge galaxy, 13.8 billion years, visible galaxy. Let me remind you, how do you know the galaxy is the Milky Way, the universe is 13. Yeah, it took time for the light to come here. That long. And if you look around, you'll see dry, barren, you can see planets and stars and supernovae and all these kind of things. And in the midst of all this, one place called Earth. What's that? How is it possible? So if you apply this principle, it took the whole universe of infinite dimensions, which is expanding again, and this 13.8 billion years to produce one Earth. Aren't we lucky? And see how sometimes we behave like crybabies. I want my chocolate. And don't you know that the whole universe has exhausted itself in producing this very place that you call Earth? Yeah. And it has taken a few more billion years for the Earth to produce something which is called a single cell, which can replicate itself. Imagine 4.5 billion years, supposedly, this Earth. Yeah. But then the stuff that we are made of is the stuff that is found in the stars. The stars have to die. Lawrence Krauss, in one of, he's a physicist in this Arizona State University. He said, the stars have to die for you to be born. So year. So all the materials, the organic material that you find on the earth had been found all over the universe. So somehow it is here that it formed into a kind of a cell. And the macromolecules like, the DNA and the RNA and the proteins, these are kind of, okay, we've tried to unravel them. But the mechanism in the cell is mind-boggling. You have thousands of chemical reactions going on, and nobody is able to understand it correctly. It is as if the universe in itself, that one simple cell. So the whole earth kind of took all its energy and produced this one cell, and it kept on dividing. And then with the division of labor, it keeps on growing and growing and growing. And this earth is kind of a fascinating place. It has helped produce life, but it has also tried to exterminate life. We've had 5 major mass extinctions, and we are in the middle of the 6th. We don't even know. Yeah, that's what actually happens. Except for that 65 million years ago, there was a huge kind of meteorite that came and slammed down there. That was catastrophic. But then extinction goes on a very slow pace. As it's trying to extinguish life, life is also trying to fight back and crawl back. It's just not wanting to die. So even with mass extinctions, there has been mass, you can say, proliferations of life. Like in the pre-Cambrian, there was a boom, there was the explosion of life. Okay, anyway, let's not go into it. The idea is the earth is the best suited for life. At the same time, the earth has been trying to destroy life. And life has been kind of fighting it back. And how life has diversified itself. It has gone into each and every niche in the environment, in the plants, in the soil, and everywhere. You can say variety of life, and all life has that basic code of life, the DNA, everywhere. In the trees also, it's there. Why? Because it does not want to get killed. It's trying to fight back. From this, you can understand that there is something called a mind. Otherwise, it's just not possible. Wherever you see life, you will see there is also mind. There is consciousness. We thought that, only human beings were conscious. No, that was a grand, you can say, finding of our forefathers. We are conscious. We are supposed to exploit this whole thing. That all this thing is meant for us. Yeah, thank God. Those kind of thoughts are all disappearing. They are lurking somewhere, but then. Yeah. So wherever there's and there are some researchers who are trying to understand the mind through the processes of life, not just to the brain. So you have this Pancha Mahabhut, the 5 great elements, that has produced something called prana, life. And the prana has produced mind, manas. Yeah. If you look around, we can understand, it's very clear that there are various levels of the mind. Yeah, there's a kind of a orangutan, quite intelligent, a chimpanzee. Yeah, just love thy neighbors. Yeah, have to go. And all life is kind of strung down on the thread of, you can say, mind. So there are various levels. At the highest end, you find people, human beings, as I say, with this, you can say, quality of the mind of being self-consciousness. not self-conscious. When you look at a person, that person becomes self-conscious. Not it. Consciousness can reflect on itself. You can think about yourself and you can think about the world outside. And the glimmer found in dolphins and chimps and orangutan, yeah, there are some. But in human beings, it's kind of unfurled. Mind has taken the form of intelligence. People want to find intelligent life all over the world. Yeah, intelligent life is here. But till now, we found intelligent life here. So we'll stick to this. Okay. So we've got various levels. The universe exhausted itself in producing the earth. The earth exhausted itself as it were producing the simple cell. And life itself exhausted itself in producing this proliferation of life, which implies there's a mind there. And there are various levels of the mind. The highest point is called intelligence. This much can be kind of agreed upon by, nobody will kind of dispute it. But there is a kind of a mystical dimension to this whole thing. If you notice it, what exactly is life? You'll get various answers. What is mind? There's another big mystery. What is matter? Just simple matter is another mystery. We think we know this. They were all taking it easy when they discovered the atom, and find now they're still discovering hidden dimensions within the atom over and over again. No, there's no end. There's a kind of a mystical element to this whole world and to your own life. People are not aware of that kind of. Now, you looked at this thing from the standpoint of evolution. One thing evolves into another. But evolution, as Swami Vivekananda says, presupposes an involution. Suppose we run the movie backwards. We've seen it evolving. Suppose you run the movie backwards, and we can do that. You can do that. How does the whole thing appear? That mystical element, that consciousness, the intelligence, has congealed or condensed and has become mind. Mind has condensed and has become life. Life has condensed and has become matter. And this is what it is. Whenever you see any life, there is also a mind. Life is always associated with matter. And what exactly it is, it's very difficult to understand. So there is something called a quantum entanglement. And that's a wonderful. Wonderful. These guys come up with some wonderful, you can say, terms and explanations. So, you have these electrons that are kind of entangled. Once you entangle them, they dance for all eternity together. Okay. Even if they are separated by millions of light years. You spin one from right to left, the other guy will spin left to right. So it's all entangled. Life is entangled with mind, with matter, everything. We are entangled with nature. Here it is. We just can't get out of nature. So this is nature. That's part of you. Like the other day, I was telling somebody, I have my lungs here, but I can exhale carbon dioxide, and that tree out there, which I consider stupid and doing nothing, it's an external lungs of mine. So it absorbs carbon dioxide and throws out oxygen. So here we are. It's complementary. We are entangled. Everywhere there is an entanglement. So if there's evolution, it has to be entangled in involution. We can't get out of this whole thing. Okay, so evolution, involution, life has to manifest, and then we know life also kind of for a while becomes unmanifest and again remanifest. It's like the whole tree coming out of a seed and then slowly emerging, becoming a tree, leaving seeds in its wake. And that's the cyclic nature of all life, all worlds, all universes, and everything. This is the cyclic nature. So Swami Vivekananda says, what was involved? Involved and said, what was the seed? If you can trace the whole thing to some germs, to one place where this whole thing started. I won't call it damn thing. It is intelligence. How do you know that there was intelligence? Because yes, the Buddha or the Christ or the Ramakrishna, Vivekananda, you see them manifesting tremendous amounts of spirituality, consciousness. Where this thing, when it has manifested here, that means it was there in the seed form. It was slowly uncoiling itself gradually over and over and over. It has taken millions and millions, billions and billions of years. That intelligence, that consciousness was slowly uncoiling itself, is uncoiling itself. And that's the reason why when we look at one side of creation, we will never know the other side. We will never know the whole of the truth. That's why life will be an enigma. It's a mystery. What's life? Because you're seeing only one side, that side which is manifesting. You don't see the other side, which is uncoiling itself. It's obvious that this is not the end of the evolution. We had so many species of hominids and they all gone off. So, well, even this is not a final stage of human beings. We'll keep on evolving. And that is that uncoiling of that intelligence which is there over and over, gradually, billions and billions of years. Well, if you can look at it like that, sometimes you can wonder, wow, evolution and involution and all these things. Even till here, we can understand, okay, nobody's going to bring out a big kind of argument against this argument of mine. But since this season is Mother's season, we had Durga Puja celebrated. We had Lakshmi Puja, goddess of good fortune. We have goddesses everywhere, all over the place. Yeah. In India, if you start a talk without, we start with Devi or Sajjano, goddesses and good people. The women are called goddesses. We have to start with that. If you don't start with that, you had it. You might get some rotten tomatoes on you or some stuff. Or people are going to listen to you. You have to start Devi or Sajjana. So all these forms of the mother. And in a few days, we'll have Kali Puja. So since this is a kind of a mother kind of puja type season, you wonder why this earth and this life is so special. There's a remarkable saying of Mother in her gospel. A disciple asks the Holy Mother, the disciple Swami Arupananda, quote, Mother, infinite is this creation. Who can tell what is happening in a remote plane? Who can say if any living beings inhabit any of those innumerable stars and planets? End of quote. This will be our question. Are there aliens there? Well, it won't be, even if they are there, they won't be like us, because we have evolved in 1G. Gravity is 1. So and all those planets have 4, 5 or 6G. So life will appear different. Anyway, so this is the question. Is there something? Like, Enrico Fermi, he says, where is everybody? Where is everybody? Yeah, where is everybody? So here, Mother, she says, quote, It is possible only for God to be omniscient in this realm of Maya. Perhaps there are no living beings in those planets and stars. Yes. So, yeah, mother says, but she's used the perhaps. She's left a wide open door for further inquiry. Mother, she grew up in a place called a poor village called Jairambati. She had hardly any food to eat. She used to work since she was a child. Yeah. And in India we have this. And in India we have the eldest child, the girl. She becomes a mother to all the other siblings. And she had 4 siblings. So she brought him up. Here she barely could read. She did. She could barely write her name. And this woman saying, perhaps there are no living beings in all this. How do you know that? So let's look at it from the standpoint of Advaita. Advaita is a kind of a grand thing, I love Advaita. So we look at it like this, that the whole universe has been experimenting with itself in order to produce something called life. And in all the stars and all the planets, it has failed. And in this particular place called Earth, in one stupid spiral galaxy called the Milky Way, it's actually insignificant. And in one arm of the Milky Way, there's one kind of small sun, and then there's a kind of insignificant planet. There, it succeeded in sparking something called life. So here we are in a kind of a unique, you can say, position. Now, why? You say, why? It's like a roll of dice, Oh, yeah, you got the right combination. You got hit a jackpot. In order for the universe to understand itself. The whole universe is trying to understand itself through us, through our lives. That is why we want to discover, we want to find out what is there everywhere. There's a book, The Self-Aware Universe, there's an astrophysicist, Amit Goswami. The universe is becoming self-aware through us. The universe is trying to understand itself through us. So, when you talk about the meaning of life, here it is, vast. What else do you want? Well, no, I don't want this. I want to have my chocolate. I want to have my little joys and pleasures. And you've misunderstood the whole meaning and purpose of life. There's another saying of Mother. I'll quote. I'll read the quote. Are you the mother of all? The disciple asked. Mother, casually, say yes. Even of these birds and animals? Yes, these also. And another place he said, beings all over the universe are my children. Now, who can say this? Either that person is completely crazy. Yeah, who can say all this? All beings everywhere are my children. Who can say that? Either a guy who lost the senses or a person who really knows. And from the force of context, we can see from Mother's life, all through her life, we find her manifesting this universal motherhood towards all, to birds and animals and all types of people. This is She is the mother of all. Well, this is much better than, So what's the meaning of your life? Mother. You remove mother from your life and everything is over. You bring in mother and everything has now meaning. Okay. So, in the Chandi, Sri Sri Chandi, which is a section from the Markandeya Markandeya Purana, there is saying, Chiti Rupena ya Krishnam ekam vyapyastito jagat namastasai 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 namanu. Repeated salutations to you, Mother, who are established in the form of consciousness in all beings. And then it further keeps on. Repeated salutations to you who are in the form of intelligence. And then in the form of sleep, in the form of hunger. Everything that we do, we hunger and thirst, we are tired, we are sleepy, we have mistakes, and there's beauty, and everything one after another. They keep on namastasai, 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 namo ya Devi Sarva. Oh Goddess, you who dwell in all beings in the form of error, who dwells in all beings in the form of mother, who dwells in all beings in the form of compassion, who dwells in all beings in the form of wealth, Lakshmi, who dwells in all beings in the form of hankering, thirst, Trishna, everywhere. All our senses and all our life and all our mind and everything is actually manifesting the Divine Mother. She is the Divine Mother who is manifesting through our lives. She is the life of our lives. That's what this whole mother worship is centered on. This is not some place outside of this universe. Everything is here within you. You are the microcosm of the mother. The whole universe is the microcosm of the mother. So here we are. How vast is the mother? There was time we used to look. Mother had this arthritic, you can say, diseases. In her knees and ankles used to get kind of stiff and had to be massaged. Sometimes I wonder, what is this? How is this universal force has manifested through a woman who's just an ordinary woman, but with tremendous, you can say, knowledge of the whole universe, the superconscious mind, the whole cosmic mind is her mind. She has brought down this knowledge to our level so that we can integrate it within our culture and within our own lives. Why? So that we can gradually raise ourselves to that. So what is the goal of life? What's the meaning of life? Oh, it's mother, nothing but mother. Ma. And that is what we need to know. Swami Vivekananda is one of his quotes, to come back to Advaita. In whom is the universe? Who is in the universe? Who is the universe? In whom is the soul? Who is in the soul? Who is the soul of mankind? This is, the individual and the universal are now synchronized. The more you're disconnected, the more you will have problems in understanding your life. The more you synchronize yourself with the universal, the more life will have meaning and purpose. And you'll see at the end, the beginning and the end. She is the Alpha and the Omega. As you know, I am the Alpha and the Omega, is in the Bible. She is the Alpha and the Omega. She is that in our lives. And she's also in the middle also. I'll stop here. Yeah, if I keep on going on, I'll be kind of repeating myself. But I could repeat myself for the whole day and whole night, and a kind of this is a kind of an intoxication. I remember one time, oh Swami, we were talking, and it was late in the night, talking about the Holy Mother. And then he says, "Stop, stop, stop. Let's stop here. This is a kind of intoxication. You keep on talking about the Divine Mother, you forget all about your food and sleep and everything. You all guys, all young guys, you all need to work tomorrow morning, so goodbye." So talking about the Divine Mother is kind of intoxicating. Just thinking about, just remember, Mother keeps on saying, remember that you have a mother. That's the gist of all this talk, the meaning and purpose and life and this and that. You have a mother. As simple as that. And if we can integrate this in our culture and in our life, there it's become blessed. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu. Yeah, let me come down a little. We have an announcement. Next week, where the temple will open for Vespers on Fridays and Saturday nights at 6 p.m. Sunday, November 8th, Swami Mahayogananda will speak on Sri Ramakrishna and Kali. Wonderful. Yeah. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat.
Will you take questions?
Oh, yes. Sure. Okay. Just a few.
Does anyone have questions?
After this, even I'm floored.
If anyone on Zoom has a question, now would be the time to ask also. Nothing.
Every question has an answer. Dive deep in the ocean of God's beauty. Thank you very much for joining us here. And this, as I said, it's an auspicious time for Mother worship. Open your hearts out to let her enter